Hello and welcome back to the X-Files Revisited. We are on to episode 5 of season 6, which is Dreamland 2, of which I didn't realise the last time that there was a part 2 to this one. So it really was, surprising to say the least, right?
Yeah. was there a question in there?
Just save me from my lunacy.
Oh, no one can do that, mate. No one can save a Scotsman from his lunacy. Yeah, part 2. It's just, for me, it always just seems a bit weird that we get a second part to not only a non mythology episode, but also it's a comedy episode.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to know what the boardroom was like when they were coming up with that one. Now, obviously, we both get. Oh no, I think I gave it a 5. Did you give it a 4.5? I think.
I can't remember, right?
Either way,
long ago.
Yeah,
5 minutes is too long ago.
Yeah. We both rated it pretty highly anyway. I remember that. And
I think I gave it a 5 as well.
Yeah. Now, the IMDb audience rated the first episode very highly, if you recall. The question is, do they rate the second part as highly?
Nah.
Have a guess. Where do you think 217 episodes, where does it sit?
29.
No, I'm afraid it's 11.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's literally just one away from both parts sitting in the top 10 of all time.
Shocker.
I know, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. I mean, we said the same thing about the first episode, so yeah, there you go. Right, let's kick off anyway. So
let's get into it.
Before we go back to where we kind of finished off at the end of last episode, we get a bit of an intro that is a look at Mulder's life through the eyes of Morris.
Yeah.
Inside Mulder's body. It gives this voiceover and it's like, once upon a time, there was a man, Fox Mulder. And he paints this picture of Mulder's life that just makes him sound like the saddest git anyone could ever hope to meet. And we see all these like images of him going about his life and photos of Mulder and this, that, and the other. And then it says at the end of the voiceover, it goes, "But now that's all about to change," which pretty much sets you up for precisely what you expect this episode is going to be.
Yeah. It feels like an almost it harkens back to like almost TV shows of some sort, like a comedy show where you have somebody kind of narrating. Like, there's like a friendliness in the tone, but an also ominous nature within it as well. And I think the reason that these shows are as highly rated as they are is because of, is it Michael McKean that plays Morris?
Yeah.
Because his performance is so, he's having a blast of a time. He's having so much fun, and I think that comes across, and I think that's why it kind of sticks a little bit with everybody.
Yeah, when you talk about those voiceovers from those kind of shows, I'm thinking of what's that show with the kid where he's looking back on his younger days. So you hear him as an adult at the start of the show, and he's always the Wonder Years.
Yeah,
the Wonder Years. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of that kind of thing. But yeah, so anyway, we get past that intro and we go to Morris apologizes to Dana. Every time he calls her Dana, it's just something not right about it.
Yeah.
Who's looking a little worried. I can't remember why he apologizes to Dana. Is it? Yeah, I can't remember. I've slept since then as well. We pick up, don't we? We go back to when Mulder, or who they believe is Morris, gets arrested for supposedly trying to give Scully that part from the crashed UFO thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Morris as Mulder apologizes to her, presumably for making her go through with it or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I'd like to say I've slept.
I think he apologises because he went to Kersh and told her that she was kind of doing her own thing again.
Ah, yes, that's it. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Mulder is incarcerated with Maverick.
So ridiculous.
It's like, you all right, Mom? And he's like, don't you ma'am me. It's like just Native American woman, and she's like speaking like Top Gun.
You're like, this can't get any worse. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. When she kisses him and grabs her crotch, I was like, oh, okay, we have gone there.
Great stuff. Oh man, it's like an episode like this just gives roles to people who would otherwise not get them. Like, when else would you see a Native American actor doing something like that?
Yeah.
Because like, even when you see them being like faithful to their culture, that's not something they would do. That's not something I can picture them doing anyway. So yeah, it's great stuff. So Scully is given 2 weeks suspension, and a home-cooked meal is suggested from Morris. So Mulder invites her to have like a, why don't you come over, have a home-cooked meal, and like, if she ain't twigging at this point, then she's thick as two sharp planks.
It's one of those episodes where it plays on that like frustration level of when is she going to realise?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, hurry up and just figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, she has figured it out. We'll see that in a minute. A few scenes later, but it's like they do play it, and by doing so, they play on our knowledge of the, oh yes, this is typical Scully. She's ever the skeptic, and they stretch it here to the point where you want to shout at the screen and like, come on, Scully, seriously. But yeah, she's not quite as dumb as she's letting on, though, as we will later find out. But yeah, we go back to Grandma Top Gun, saying shut the hell up, and Mulder is taken away. I can't remember exactly why she's telling him to shut the hell up, but yeah, they're never going to be the best buds, these two.
I think they fall out because she's telling the story that Mulder just has a zero interest in.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit tete-a-tete kind of thing they fall out.
Right, so apparently it was the wrong flight recorder. So it kind of leaves the people thinking that Morris, who is actually Mulder, was like, well, they're stumped. What's going on, Morris? You're giving this flight recorder to the FBI, but it's not even the right flight recorder. What's going on? So he plays up like it was, that was my intention.
They jumped to the conclusion.
They jumped to the conclusion that he was like leading them on, giving them false information, and they're like, why didn't you tell us? And he's like, well,
it's that way where they sit
the best
down,
of our not.
He's got not a clue what's going on. They're just like, you sneaky SOB. Oh. They're all just like, God, so smart.
Mm-hmm. And Mulder he's got a get out of jail free card because they've suspected there's someone in there who is a leak, and therefore that's why he didn't tell anyone. It's just complete ass crap. So Morris at Mulder's apartment There's no bedroom because it's all full of case files. So this is like, it's a great little bit of information on Mulder. It's like, how many years have we seen inside Mulder's apartment? And how many times during those, we're into the 6th year now. How many times during those 6 years have we seen Mulder's bedroom, seen his bed? The answer, never. Because he doesn't have one. He doesn't have a bed. It's just, he's that obsessed with his work. He sleeps on the couch and he gives his bedroom over to case files, which is pretty hilarious. So, and it doesn't feel out of the blue as well as a piece of information about him, because we have seen him sleep on the couch. Which always begs the question, dude, why are you sleeping on your couch? Go to bed.
Well, couch, the reclining chair in front of TV showing porn. He finds somewhere to get comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Mulder goes home to Morris's house. Says hi to the kids.
Family. What a joy to come home for Morris.
Oh, big time. Although I do have to imagine that he is to blame for that in no small part.
I think it's the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it was like a comforting place in general for Morris. I think Mulder's just aggravated everything just a little bit more.
So he tries to tell Joanne the truth. But Joanne's like, just not believing him at all. She says, accept who you are, however repulsive that may be.
Love it.
It is just a great line. Absolutely great line. Then Scully arrives for dinner at Mulder's house and finds a waterbed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, alarm bells should be ringing. So so
the whole build up to this sequence was hilarious. I think like Michael McKean's terrific in this. The whole seduction play as he kind of dances about and he's got everything played out exactly how he wants to do it. He's having like a great time. Like Mulder's in hell. Like he's just loving life.
Well, the thing is, he's swapped a body that looked like Michael McKean for a body that looks like prime David Duchovny.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm pretty sure his confidence levels have like literally just skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
But so they go. Scully plays it up, and she's like, you know what? I think we should get the old handcuffs going.
Yeah.
So he's like super excited by that point. He's like, oh, baby.
Me first.
Yeah. And then once he gets the cuffs on, it is just a moment later was the moment when I literally shouted at the screen, about bloody time. Because she pulls her gun and she's like, who the hell are you and where is Mulder?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But do you know what I love about this? Like he doesn't even bother trying to like come up with some other story. He's just like, I'm caught. So so there's a phone call. He makes a phone call and deep throat calls.
Yeah, Mulder suggests he and Joanne go away for a bit. So is the call to Mulder? I can't remember. I'm sorry guys, but my notes on this one are crap.
Mulder's watching the person that's like watching the house, and she's like, we can't stay in, so they decide to go on a date, and then we jump back to the handcuff sequence where Scully asks Morris have you heard anything from Deep Throat? And he goes, no, I know nothing about that. And then the phone rings. And it's Deep Throat. And he just gives one of those kind of like shrugs. That's got me again.
Yeah. So Mulder suggests he and Joanne go away. So they go out to a bar called the Little Ailey Inn, which I thought was cute. So Mulder gets Joanne there under the pretense of them having a date and trying to get a bit closer, but really he's there to meet the source. And the source turns out to be none other than the boss man. So the guy who's been there has been Morris's higher up the whole time that we've seen everything going on. He is the source. He's the dude who's letting things out.
And that was a complete surprise.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. Yeah, no. I mean, I've seen this episode before, and I didn't see that one coming. I completely totally forgot about it, big time. For some reason, I thought Morris was the source. I kept thinking Morris was the one who's letting information slip, but so no, it's the boss man, and Mulder meets him in the toilets. He disabled the stealth module so that Mulder could see the craft. Apparently, he doesn't like keeping the government, the dirty government secrets anymore. He feels like the public have a right to know. So Mulder steps outside to see Scully, and Joanne sees them when Mulder gets in the car to have a chat with Scully.
Yeah.
Then Morris sees Joanne crying. And it's a real gut punch moment. I don't know about you, but it's like, for me, it was a real nice character moment that, like, you might say Morris didn't deserve to see that. He didn't deserve the chance to get to see that. But you see that by him seeing how upset his wife is, there's an element there that, like, he senses that, you know, she's not in a happy place. I think he senses that he's partly to do with that, or maybe greatly to do with that. And I don't know. I feel like it rekindles something in him in that moment towards.
I think he needs to see her like that.
Yeah,
I think it's like, because up until then, everything's hilarious and having great fun, and this almost just puts a stop to it because he sees this, and it reminds him of the life that he's almost ignored for the past, few days or whatever, and it just brings everything back. And of course, the feelings for his wife and seeing how upset she is, and it just brings everything kind of back to him a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a nice moment, I thought. It's quite a heartfelt moment. So, Mulder,
Morris,
aka Morris, so Mulder in Morris's body comes back from the car, and Joanne splashes him in the face with her drink, and Mulder goes to clean himself up and finds Morris hiding in the bathroom with the flight recorder. He wants Mulder to take it outside to Scully. So it's all very like, who's giving what to who now? Whose allegiances are to who? What? Yeah. So it's quite amusing.
But I think this whole sequence is, for me, I think it's a standout of this episode. I love this sequence with the bathroom, and they keep ending up there, and it never quite gets there, but it feels as if it's getting to the almost farcical levels of everybody just missing things. And I think it's really well done, and it's well shot, and it's just the way everything's staged. I think it's terrific.
And it's just that element as well of the three of them ending up in the bathroom. It's like with him peering over the bathroom stall. Yeah. So the boss man sees the agents who were assigned to keep tabs on Morris and disappears into the bathroom. Mulder and Morris peek down at them. So I just found that quite amusing. So they concoct a scam they concoct a scam to get the recorder to Scully by using Mulder/Morris as a decoy. Lone gunmen, 20 locks. I love it. It's hit their door. So I knock on the lone gunman comes to the door. It's like, if somebody really wanted to get in there, guys, especially the kind of people that you're afraid of, they have ways and means. And it's like, they're like, it's like a door at every 3 inches. Sorry, a lock at every 3 inches on the door.
Yeah.
So,
and then
Morris,
this whole sequence, like, I couldn't take my eyes off Morris, because this is like a kid in a candy shop. He is loving this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like he's seeing the tabloid kind of side of things about his.
It's the fruits of his labor. Yeah, these are the idiots that's buying all his crap.
And the thing is, it feeds in as well to Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man.
Yeah.
Because you could almost, if you want to backtrack somewhat to that episode, you could almost suggest that. And isn't this like, is this episode 4 or episode 5? So it's, I think Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man was episode 5 of season 5.
You're right. Yeah.
So it's quite amusing that here they give you almost the man behind the man that's behind the man. It's like if Cancer Man needs a story concocting and then having that information sent out to build a false picture of who he is, this is the guy that did it. It's like so all that story that they found out about Cancer Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Morris is the dude who got it out there. Great stuff. But he finds the lone gunmen absolutely hilarious, and he says that he invented Saddam Hussein. And he tells them that this has all started because it's a rift in the time-space continuum that's caused the body swap. And if you only knew how many of your stories I invented, which you can tell Frohickey really doesn't like.
Yeah, and there's so many like throwaway things that are really funny, like the Saddam Hussein story. Just near the end of it, he's talking about the actor, and he's like, plays a great ethnic. And it's just like nobody acknowledges it or says anything. It's just so silly and It's like it's almost assuming that this guy is just like almost just playing an ethnic person, but not really ethnic. like Saddam Hussein. And, I don't know. It just tickled me.
So we go from there to a boss man at the military. Turns out to actually be clueless.
Yep.
So it's like Mulder goes to him thinking, this is pay dirt. I've got a guy inside the government who's quite high up, and he's the one feeding me information. And then when he tries to kind of quiz him on it, the guy's like, oh. It's like, do aliens really exist? It's like, what? You should be telling me whether they exist. Why are you asking me? And it just, So it's one of two things there that's going on, which is either this guy is a plant and he's thrown in there to just completely throw Mulder off the scent of Area 51, or he genuinely is clueless, and the people at Area 51 don't actually know half of the stuff that they're dealing with. Which, to be honest, probably sounds more true at this point. So they open the flight recorder, and the lone gunman, that is, and like Scully just says, "Call me when you have something." So obviously they will get something. Set up for whatever we need later on. So we go to a what have I said here? Black mailbox white.
Yes, we've got a group of 3 kids who go up to the white mailbox, but they said this is the black mailbox. And the
Oh,
guy's like, but
yes.
it's white.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, yes.
Yeah, I just put at the side of it, ha 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 ha. 'Cause, yeah, I remember finding that hilarious. I just thought that's just it's funny, but we get this moment with these 3 teenagers basically, and they're trying to break into Area 51. They're typical kind of conspiracy theorist types, and
They're
this
looking
ripple.
to see a sighting.
Yeah, they're looking to see a sighting, and they see one, and afterwards they're going to wish they hadn't. They see this ripple. This ripple kind of comes past them, but because 2 of them were smooching at the time, their faces are now melded together.
Yeah. Horrific and fantastic. It's
disgusting. It freaks me out. It's like I was saying with the gas station attendant in the first episode. Put a bullet in me. There's no way out of that. There's no living after that. Put a bullet in me. It's just skanky. So Scully meets Mulder, and I love the look on Scully's face. The way Gillian Anderson plays this, where she looks at him, she's like, "Is that really you in there, Mulder?" And it's just, she believes it, but she's having a real hard time with this.
Yeah.
But she also has a great swell of sympathy for Mulder.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's a lot going on with Scully's facial expressions for it. But.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that I like here. I like the part where Mulder's like, if I kill him, is it suicide or is it murder? And then just like you said, the kind of interaction that they have just at the end of it, the way he just drops like the sunflower seeds in their hand, just as a normal reassurance.
Yeah, exactly. It is me. It's me. Yeah. It's just, this whole exchange is just dynamite, quite frankly. There's like quite a few quotes that I dropped. Like the best one is when Scully says, "I could kiss you if you weren't so damn ugly." So, which does suggest that she doesn't find him unattractive on any normal day.
I love Morris as well because he's so obnoxious. Like they're having this tete-a-tete, and he just leans out the car and he's like, "Take a picture; it'll last longer." Sits back.
Such a child. She says that they're trying to recreate what happened could end with Mulder's head in a rock, but that's the basic gist, is they've got to try and recreate what happened, but the variables, like if they're just off by a little bit, anything could happen. But that's when Mulder's like, if I shoot him, would that be murder or suicide? And then Scully's like, neither, if I get to him first. Which is just that whole scene. I love that scene. It's just there's so much wrapped up in it. It's great writing. Like it's very easy to just say, it's just light-hearted comedy. It's a fairly light episode. It's just light-hearted comedy. Yeah. But there's a lot going on in there. Like there's a lot of emotional depth to the relational stuff between Mulder and Scully, as well as the humour with what Morris is doing, and like you say, dropping those sunflower seeds. It's like, that reassurance. It's such a brilliantly handled sequence, and like anybody coming to, like if they came to this 2-parter, if that was like their introduction to the show, the sunflower seed thing ain't really going to mean a right lot to them. That's but if you're a fan of the show, that does mean something, and because it means something to us, it means something to Scully. We know it. We know what it means to Scully because we know what it means to us. So it's great stuff. So we go to Budget Spender, If you remember, the agent from the previous episode who works with Morris, who I just think looks like a budget spender. Or maybe Spender is a budget version of this guy. I don't know.
Yep, I prefer that.
Yeah. So, quality spender gets pulled over by one of the black mailbox kids. But when the kid shows him the two messed up friends, they're no longer messed up.
Yeah.
So,
and just at the end of this little interaction, he's like, "I believe you, kid. I believe you." And it's like, you're like, I was waiting on the gun coming out.
Yeah. So I don't feel like them kids are seeing home again.
No. But I think at this point he's almost realizing what's kind of happening.
Yeah. It's like, if I just let this play out, everything will rewrite itself, and it's like, we're good. So Morris tells Scully how he used Mulder's badge to get a free hotel room. Scully ain't impressed. Then she sees the gas station and its attendant, which, for anyone who remembers last episode, she saw the aftermath of when it was completely, blitzed, burnt to a crisp.
And then this just gets to the, like, okay, you can hear the writer's room going, like, so how do we get out of this? And the guys are just like, everything just goes back to the way it was.
It's like, if this was a Star Trek episode, they'd explain it away using the main deflector dish. It's like, whenever there was an issue on Star Trek Next Generation, that main deflector dish was getting used for something. It's just like, it was a cure all ills. So it was just, basically, it was like a wave, but now that wave is like a rubber band. It's kind of coming back, and it's if everything that was in its path before is still there, then it reverses it back to how it was. So so budget spender or quality spender removes quality spender removes Native American woman from the cell. Then Joanne is kicking all of Morris's stuff out of the house when Scully and Morris show up to talk to Mulder. Morris tells Joanne the truth. Scully tells them they need to get back to the highway where it first happened, because everything seems to be reversing. But then the military show up to arrest Morris.
Yeah. Did you think for a brief moment that Joanne was going to take advantage of this situation? Or was that just me?
She should have done, shouldn't she?
Yeah.
Prove it. Get upstairs right now and let's have sex, and let's prove if you do it the same way you always do it. She could have done. She could have done, couldn't she? Yeah.
Skulder, Mully, hold on, I'll be 3.5 minutes.
That reminds me of that Simpsons quote where it's like, I'm going to the back seat of my car with my wife, and if I'm not back in 10 minutes... Oh, great stuff. So they're stopped on the way back by Quality Spender. He wants to allow time to snap back and reverse everything so he can get his spotless career record back. So
now, just quickly to interject, I thought this was hilarious, right? Because the army guys were stopped by a larger group of army guys, and they looked genuinely shocked at being stopped. And it just, I thought that was hilarious. I don't know why. I just thought it was so funny that there was different soldiers that were going to stop these soldiers from doing what they were doing. And
it's like for a moment the shoe is on the other foot. It's like they get to do this to guys all the time, and now they're having it done to them. So.
And there's a couple of actors that look genuinely shocked, like the army guys.
So Scully calls Mulder to tell him their little field trip went unnoticed by Kirsch. Have I missed a bit? Oh no, no. They do the Yeah, so they do the
They do
snapback
the
thing. And, yeah. It all washes away and off they go. So, yeah. Scully calls Mulder to tell him that the field trip went unnoticed by Kirsch. That's because technically it never happened. Now, this gets a little bit hazy here.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how far did that wave stretch? And now I'm guessing that the field trip went unnoticed because there was none of the chaos that was caused.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. This, you got to imagine this thing's like a wave, yeah. So it goes out, but it only gets so far, and then it gets pulled back like a rubber band. So it's only everything within that wave was affected temporarily. Now, things that were in the wave that got affected could step outside of that wave or into other areas, I guess.
Yeah.
But they had to be back where, within the wave, so to speak.
So pretty much, Mulder has a bedroom and he may have a child with Kirsch's secretary.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. So we see Scully finds the coins in her office desks. So clearly the wave didn't stretch as far as the FBI offices because that coin is still there. And she's like, huh? What the heck? And then Mulder goes to his apartment, closes the door, and then moments later opens it just to check that it's the right number. And he's like, what the... And then closes the door again, to which we're supposed to assume, hang on, has he just found a waterbed in his bedroom? Which is great. Yeah. Nice one. Wrap up.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. Like, it's not like a serious episode. It's not impacting the grander story. It's not pushing things forward. It's fun. And I think some of that carefree fun is what's needed every now and again. So, like, for me, it's a 5 out of 5. I love the writing. I think Michael McKean is terrific in the role. He looks to be having so much fun. It's funny. It's pointless, like, in the grand scheme of things. Like, all this wackiness happens. Oh, no, it hasn't. But I don't care because I have fun watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. I think, as well, the humour works even more so because there are moments of tenderness peppered in. There are moments of genuine love and emotion between characters that, particularly if you're a long time fan of the show, that it would resonate even more with you. But it's a really great episode, and the fact that it's a 2-parter as well, where the second part is just as equally as great as the first part. It holds together as its own little kind of mini X-Files movie. Great stuff. So 5 out of 5 for me as well. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about episode 6, How the Ghosts Stole Christmas.
So this guest stars, it had 2 pretty big name guest stars, which I'm going to completely forget the name of now.
Nice.
Lily Tomlin. So Lily Tomlin is one, and the other, is it Ed Asner? Is that his name? Is it the guy who did the voice to the old man in Up? I think. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
I think I could be completely wrong on that. He's quite a recognisable name anyway. I mean, in film and TV and such like. They were a good get anyway. It's basically, there's only 4 actors in the entire episode, and it's Mulder and Scully and those 2, and it all takes place at a haunted mansion, and they're the ghosts. So
it really feels as if we've stepped into like a completely wacky season of the X-Files.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, and we said this last episode, because back to back. We've had like certainly we had Triangle, Dreamland, and there was another one. What was it?
Triangle Dreamland Drive.
I mean, it's Drive technically. I mean, there's a lot of comedy in Drive, but it is still quite a serious episode as well. There's a very well-rounded episode, but yeah, it definitely, you know, Triangle and followed by a two-parter that's quite comedic, and then we're going into another episode which, while I wouldn't necessarily say it's a comedy episode, it is.
But it sounds quirky again, like Ghost.
It is quirky. So it's called How the Ghost Stole Christmas, and it's really, yeah, it's. I've never looked at it as an out and out funny episode, but it is. Right. It's definitely quirky. It's definitely quirky, and there's definitely some really great Mulder Scully moments.
Okay.
But it's really about these two ghosts putting Mulder and Scully's relationship to the test.
Right.
And seeing how they come out the other side. Now, I don't remember being that high on it. It's been a long time since. This is one of them ones I'm quite hazy on. I'm not too sure about it. I remember there being quite a few really good Mulder Scully moments in it, but for some reason I recall the ending being a bit like, really? That's it? But I don't know. Again, it's been so long since I've seen it. This could be one of them where I come to it and I'm like, oh, actually no, this is so much better than I remember. So I'm really interested in revisiting this one again.
Yeah, it sounds kind of interesting. So we'll see how we continue with season 6 on the next episode, and hope you'll join us. And if you don't mind, if you rate us or like us on YouTube or whatever podcast service you listen to us on, that would be fantastic as well. Gives us a bit of encouragement and allows other people to discover our program. And we'll see you next time for How the Ghosts Stole Christmas.